At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, everybody, welcome. It's Wednesday. We're here. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, yo. All right. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Lot to, so much to uncover, man. Unpack. We're going to address quite a bit today on this one. Let's get all ready. I'm wearing my this is the old school Pig Trail Network shirt. It's OG. It's OG stuff. Only one ever made. I'm working on some Tuss Talk merch. I really am. All right. First off, shout out to all the sponsors. We're going to go right into this. Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company, Odd Soul, and Apex Tattoo Studio, all three sponsors of this show. I do appreciate them. And, of course, Patreon supporters. Listen, I can't do any updates. I know it's a new month, new year, the rollover and everything. I can't post the new page until Patreon sends me the new list of names for the month of December. So that list should come through, I don't know, tomorrow, maybe later today. But when it does, I'll make that change. And hopefully by Friday, we'll have that new updated list. A lot of you stuck around. I really do appreciate that. I think we finished at 40 for the month of December, 40 total Patreon supporters. I think we added at least one or two new folks over there. So if you're interested, hey, go join Patreon. The link here really quick. We'll go ahead and throw that out there. Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. Join the join the Patreon. It says / Tyzilla 83, but it should still work. I don't know. Go find out. If it doesn't, let me know. There you go. There's the Patreon. Also, join Discord. A lot of changes coming up. A lot of changes have already happened. We're on a new XP cycle. We're on a new XP event. We haven't decided the prize yet. We haven't decided what that is just yet. But, yeah. All right. Let's get into this. Holy crap. Bobby Petrino is back in the SEC. Hold on. That's a little bit surprising. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit surprising. I thought it was a done deal. I thought it was a done deal at UNLV with Barry Odom. I don't know if this is. It's funny how this could actually work out, right? Bobby Petrino comes to Fayetteville, gives Arkansas a hell of a game. I'm sure he and Barry Odom exchanged information at that game. There is footage of him and Barry Odom talking. There's a photo, and I think there's a video out there. So I guess it shouldn't be too shocking that Barry Odom, once he got to UNLV, not only is he bringing, Bobby Petrino, but we know Michael Schur is going to go be their defensive coordinator. I guess that's what's happening over there. But for Petrino so maybe this is how this was unpacked, and maybe this is how it all happened because of what happened going back to Fayetteville when he came to town and he gave Arkansas more than they could handle. In fact, they got off to a pretty good lead. Maybe that was enough to impress, obviously, Barry Odom, who faced him. So you think back, is that the catalyst moment? Is that the moment for Bobby Petrino where all this is unpacked? Now he's probably, I don't know, I bet he makes double, triple. I don't know. I don't know what his deal would have looked like at UNLV. You can't imagine they're going to pay him a whole lot. I know they've taken – I've been told UNLV's taking football more and more serious over there. They're really putting an emphasis on football. I don't know how – I mean, that's fan talk. That's some stuff that I've seen here and there. But it looked like it was a good hire. That's a good jump. And again, going back to that moment when Petrino came to Fayetteville, that you can argue that might have been the catalyst to all this. Right? So when now we're unpacking this, September 17th, Missouri State gets off to this huge lead. Arkansas comes back. They had to come from behind and win. They had a hard time putting Missouri State away. You had that 4th down and 1 touchdown, 50 yards or something downfield. Man-to-man coverage, single coverage. Beats him, makes the play. All of a sudden, you can't put Missouri State away. Maybe that had an impact on Barry Odom. Barry Odom then hires him to UNLV, and then Jimbo Fisher says, well, wait a minute. If a guy with as good of a reputation in the coaching circles, okay, as fans, you could trash talk all you want. Yeah, the defense underperformed. They got their asses kicked. The secondary was just pure garbage for most of the year, but he's still very well respected. Enough so that Sam Pittman brought him in to help him build the foundation of the Razorback football program, right? I mean, he felt good enough that, this is going to be the guy that's going to help me build from the ground up. And it's not like he had a terrific run at Mizzou, right? He has that head coaching experience. He's a well-respected defensive coordinator, even after his stumble. So maybe that was enough for Jimbo Fisher to be like, all right, Barry thinks highly enough of him. Maybe he watched the Arkansas film back on September 17th. Maybe he watched that and was impressed enough. Now, when you break down Missouri State's season, it's abysmal. It is horrible. They go 5-6. They finished 8th in the is it Mountain View? I don't know. MVFC. They finished 8th in their conference. Of course, South and North Dakota State, and then North Dakota are all there. They're the kings of that level. But Missouri State finishes 3-5 in conference play and 5-6 overall. And after they were coming into Arkansas with victories over Central Arkansas 27-14, and they beat UT Martin. For Missouri State, those are probably pretty good wins for them, right? And then they came to Fayetteville and gave them a hell of a game. But then they just go on this losing streak. South Dakota State, North Dakota, South Illinois, and Northern Iowa, all, 2 of them score 41-plus points. South Illinois beats them 38-21. They only put up 21 points on South Illinois State. They put up 38 on Arkansas. They come into Fayetteville and they give him a game, and maybe that's what carries over, not the fact that they finished on the year. Remember, he's going as an OC. As far as I know, that's the only role he's taken on. They're not making him an assistant head coach, as far as I know. I think they're still working out the details. They did finish the season out with a couple of wins. They won 3 of their final 4. They beat Western Illinois, Youngstown State, and Indiana State. They hung 64 points on Western Illinois. That's all right, 64-14. They blasted those guys. They must have been really bad. But I kind of thought, looking back on their season, all right, well, he's probably going to be at Missouri State for another year, and then Barry Odom comes a-calling, right? Really, that was fine. You understood that. But this move for Bobby Petrino to go to Texas A&M, I don't know how next year's going to go for Jimbo. I don't know what his, I think his contract over time, it's shrunk, right? I don't know. I really don't think he's been given any extension. I damn sure know he didn't this year. This feels like a move of desperation, but one that could potentially work out. It has the similar feelings of when Auburn brought Chad over. Now, I kind of thought, listen, I think pretty highly of Bo Nix. And what he did this year at Auburn, at Oregon kind of showcased what I thought they could do with him. And then with a guy who operated the offense at Clemson, kind of helped turn them around offensively. They were averaging something like 13 more or 12 more points a game under Chad. Really, I think it was just a good staff for Clemson. It was just it was like a perfect storm for that period of time for Clemson. But I kind of thought we'd get that moment when Chad. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. But Bo Nix does go to Oregon and ultimately kind of proves me right that Bo Nix has it in him. Chad Morris is just once again in over his head, even at a place like Auburn, despite being an OC at Clemson. This kind of has that similar feeling. Now, I think much more highly of Bobby Petrino than I do Chad Morris. I'm not making that comparison at all. They're not even on the same. They're not in the same orbit. They're not on the same planet. In his heyday, Bobby Petrino was considered the greatest offensive mind. I can remember listening to people that cover the NFL or college football at ESPN that believed he was the best and brightest offensive mind that football period had to offer. Chad has never been anywhere near that level. And then we know what he did as a head coach, despite very minimal success at his previous school before coming to Arkansas. One really good season. Make no mistake, Arkansas brought Chad in because of what they thought he could do when he was the OC at Clemson. That's why they brought him here, not because of the other job. The head coaching experience certainly mattered. He had 3 years under his belt, but what he did as an OC. So it's kind of a reverse situation from that standpoint. This is Jimbo bringing in a guy that was once upon a time ago considered one of the best offensive minds in college football. Can they rekindle it? Now, here's what I will say. They walked into Fayetteville, and when I say they, I'm talking about Missouri State, walked into Fayetteville and nearly handed you your ass. I was at that game. That thing was ugly. The fans... Listen, our fans are better than most. They're not about to throw some damn mustard bottles on the field, but you could feel it. The energy was like, oh my God, that was really one of the moments where I was like, I don't know that this year's going to go the way that I thought it would. And I don't think this year's going to go the way that a lot of fans think it will. This game was very telling, even though Arkansas found a way to win. But now he's going to have, say what you want about Jimbo, okay? If Jimbo gets out of the way, and I don't know that I see that happening, but if Jimbo gets out of the way, let's Petrino. Listen, he was a great offensive coordinator. Don't forget, before he took the Louisville job, he was a great offensive coordinator. So he's back in that role. He had some success with Western Kentucky. What was he there for, a year, 2 years? Had success there. Offensively, great. He has still had some levels of success even post-Arkansas. Louisville, he fell flat on his face for 1 year despite churning out some All-Americans. I think he had a couple of All-Americans in his Louisville. I mean, obviously Lamar Jackson, but I think he had a couple of All-Americans if I remember right. I know they had at least several All-Conference on offense. He's got it in him, even post-Arkansas. Missouri State's offense walks into Fayetteville. What was the total offense? And again, yes, I agree. Arkansas's defense was awful. They had 409 yards of offense. Not great, but it's not terrible. In this day and age, it's considered a little bit above average. But they still walked in. They scored quickly. They got out to a quick start. They what was the lead at one point? Wasn't it 17-0? Then Arkansas scored 14, I think, unanswered in the second quarter. And then Arkansas was able to kind of peel it apart, had a big fourth quarter explosion, was able to take the game away from Missouri State. But they still had to crawl to victory over Bobby Petrino's Missouri State football team. It's wild. It's wild to think here we are. We go all the way back to September to here we are now where he's back at A&M. Some fans are not going to get this. Some people, especially the younger crowd, I was looking at my analytics the other day. My number amongst 18 and 19-year-olds, it's not great. It's mostly people my age that watch this show. So a lot of you are going to remember Petrino, but a lot of the younger audience who comes across this are going to be like, I don't get it. I don't understand why this matters. Okay, big deal. He failed or he got caught, whatever. You had to be there in that moment. And really you don't have to. You just got to read the story and it's wild enough. I mean, they really could. And I'm kind of surprised it's not an ESPN 30 for 30 yet. I'm kind of surprised Netflix hasn't done something or I don't know, Amazon Prime. I'm really surprised this hasn't turned into some kind of a big sports documentary somewhere. The falling of Bobby Petrino, just insane. I mean, that was really the first team between them, and I really like those old school 90s Penn State football teams. Just great defense. Looking back on it, the whole Sandusky stuff, disgusting, really gross. But I used to watch Penn State play. I liked watching them play. I thought defensively it was fun to watch them. They were linebacker. But Louisville, when he was there, They were so damn fun to watch in that Big East Conference. They were fun. Their offense was fun. So, yeah, he has that short time in Atlanta, and, of course, he very, very shady-like. He leaves Atlanta, and he comes to Fayetteville, and he's announced as the head coach. He's here for 4 years. Gives Arkansas their first ever back-to-back 10-win seasons since being in the SEC. Here we are. I outside of what we already know, he's just an OC. I don't know that they're going to give him any expanded time. And he may just be, I don't know, he might bring in another. I'm sure they're going to have analysts. They're going to have QB analysts, offensive analysts, passing game analysts, and all this. But Petrino, it sounds like, is going to maybe be given the reins of the offense just as far as the title goes. Now, does Jimbo get out of the way? That's another question entirely. I don't know why you guys are talking about Dion. God, we've got breaking news about Petrino, and you guys are talking about Dion. Bobby will get 1.2 as opposed to 760,000. Plus, it's A&M in the SEC. Say what you want about you can say what you want about A&M, and it's all true. Jimbo has, outside of one really great year, he's overpromised and under-delivered. Is that fair? So it does. Again, it feels like a desperation move. It could go either way. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I could see them falling flat on their faces next year. I really could. Or I could see them doing something a little bit surprising or something in between. I really don't know, but he's now going to have 4- and 5-star talent. What's left of that roster? I'll be honest, I have not paid attention to A&M's roster. No idea what it looks like right now. We'll have to come back to that. Odom wanted Petrino because he knew he needed an OC that could put up enough points that his ass defense wouldn't make them lose. You know, their defense actually had a couple of pretty impressive stats, actually. It's kind of, when you look at some of their stuff, it's kind of hard to believe they're as bad as they ended up being. Missouri Valley, yeah, okay. My bad. Are we forgetting the man went back to Louisville and failed completely that O didn't light anyone up? Yeah, he had one bad year, and he got fired. He got fired, but he also had success before that final year. So I don't know what version of Bobby Petrino they're getting. I don't know if they get the 2010, 2011 Bobby Petrino as a play caller, and Jimbo gets out of the way of that offense, guys. I don't know. I mean, that's shit. That's gonna be a tough pill to swallow if that happens. Don't forget, he left the ATL Falcons. Yeah, he did. He sure did. And, you know, he did some – I've read he's done some shady stuff when he was the OC at Auburn. For sure. Why are you hating on off-the-topic chatter? Because this is bigger than Dion right now for an Arkansas fan, if you want my opinion. This one actually affects Arkansas. Primetime, I mean, maybe recruiting a little bit. I mean, he did offer who was it? He offered one of the DBs. God, which one was it? Was it Metcalf he went after? I think it was Metcalf. I mean, I'm joking. There's always off-the-topic stuff in chat. I'm just kidding. It's okay, Jeff. I got you, bro. You're allowed. You can talk about whatever you want. I'm just a little surprised more people aren't a little bit shocked about this Petrino. I'm shocked. I mean, I really am. I did not see this happening because it felt like the proper step was happening for Petrino. You know, he goes to Missouri State, right? Doesn't have a very good year. I kind of thought he'd be back another year to redeem what happened this last season. And then you could see like maybe going somewhere like UNLV, be an OC, have a couple really good years, and then maybe a group of 5 school comes a calling and wants him to be a head coach. I mean, he's jumping straight from, think about it, a failed season at Missouri State right to the Texas A&M OC. And it's that. I mean, listen, it's crazy. I just didn't see that happening. That's all. That's just nuts. If Briles leaves, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Oh my, Petrino is a no good bastard. Thanks, Peter North. Does your name start with a D? Good looking honky. That's I can't allow that comment to go through, but it's hilarious. Try that again. Maybe remove some of the wording there. But good looking honky. Oh, the names are great. One bad year does not mean Pittman is regressing. In this day and age, I could understand why people say that. Because we live in a microwave society, right? We live in a give me my information now society. That's where we're at. Like in this day and age, yeah, I think you could argue it is regressing. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying I can understand the argument. I can understand the argument that you regress. But I think it's so much more complicated than that, to be honest. Not talking to you, Ty. Someone else. Oh, okay. Yeah, Metcalf. You're right. Celtics for life. Again, hey, make sure you guys like. I wanted to shoot right into this. I feel like Jimbo's trying to save his ass as Paul. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it feels that way to me. Yeah, it feels like a move out of desperation for sure. Let's not talk about next year's prediction. Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah. I don't even get there. I'll do it too early. I'll give you my too early, but I'm going to have to wait until that window closes after spring camp. Bobby Petrino's so greasy, even Wendy's wouldn't say. Oh, man. So, there you have it. Petrino's back. He's back in the SEC, it looks like. I don't know that it's been finalized. I read some A&M comments. It's kind of a mixed bag. I was trying to find Texas A&M. What's their handle? Isn't it Aggies? I guess just Aggie football. There we go. Let's see. What are they saying over here? They haven't announced it yet. The last thing A&M tweeted was 22 hours ago. Yeah, so we don't have anything yet from Texas A&M. So they have not announced. It's not official, but at the moment, it certainly looks to be the case that Bobby Petrino will be the A&M offensive coordinator. Petrino is the car salesman with his Lord. Camo gang with a hot take here. KJ should just go completely rebuild. KJ's the best we got. He can't spin it. Got to spin it to win it. So KJ should go. You should completely rebuild, but KJ's the best we got. Did you mean maybe KB should just go? I'm going to need clarification. No predictions means zero expectations. Boy, Camo, you're starting to build into that. You're starting to become the country boy of hot takes in this chat. Or Josh Big Pig of our Discord. You're becoming a Bowser here, man. Because he's a offensive mastermind, Ty. That's facts. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. He was once upon a time ago. He could be next year. I don't know. Sean Sanders. I think we overperformed year 2 because of all the super seniors, and I think listen, Mr. Gerard Collins. I think that's probably a pretty good take, though. I mean, listen, man, you cannot overvalue super seniors, the older cats, the guys that have started. I mean, that's one of the things that made Bumper Pool special in Arkansas. I thought natural talent-wise he was pretty good. I think he was deserving of 4 stars. I mean, you don't be wasn't he a 3.5-year starter? You don't do that. Have the kind of accolades that he had, the numbers, leading you in tackles as much as he did without deserving of some credit. I think he was 247. I think rated Bumper as a 4-star. But yeah, I don't know that I'm trying to read chat here. I don't know that I buy that. What do you mean zero predictions means zero? You're going to have to explain because it's just too early. So Camo Gang is trying to clear it up. Unfortunately, I can't post his comment up here. Remember, Super Chat is up and active. If you guys really want me to read your chat, Super Chat will take priority. KJ's all we got, guys. Think about it. Just best option for us at this point. He's damaged goods. I hope he can make it through entire season. Okay. All right. Completely rebuild. So you're saying just move on, completely rebuild. All right. Hot take Wednesday. Yeah, right. I can't wait to see the spring game. Could be very competitive. Let's get on to the next topic here really fast. Where are we? I haven't even looked at any of the notations. Let's get to these visitors here really quick. This is big news. Some big-time visitors on campus. This is coming from Otis Kirk at Hogville. I'm taking part of his article here. If you haven't read it, go read it. Among the recruits known to be visiting Arkansas beginning Wednesday, the North Texas tight end, 6'5", 250-pounder Jake Roberts. Jake the Snake. He might as well deal with it. That's going to be his name here if he comes to Arkansas. Oregon wide receiver, 6'5", almost 200-pound Dante Thornton, who's a 4-star out of high school. Baylor safety Mike Harris. Arkansas has recently offered and plans to host Bowling Green's pair of safeties, Jordan Anderson, 5'10", 200, and wide receiver. I might have missed. I don't think I copy and pasted this right. I think I went in and made some corrections and messed up. But it says Jordan Anderson and Tyrone Broden. Tyrone Broden is that 6'7", I don't know what he weighs. He's like a 205, 210-pound receiver. 6'7", 210 is like a, might need to pack some weight on that young man. Don't know anything outside of his size. Have not gotten to his videos yet. In my opinion, the biggest visitor, and this first broke from Danny West on Twitter. This is huge. The biggest visitor of the week is Isaac Tesla. Now, we had some people that didn't understand why this is big. This cat, his recruiting has blown up. He's had some huge offers. He's 6'4", 210. Is it Hills? Someone corrected me on Twitter. I thought it was Hills. What did I say? Hills something or another. Hang on, let me look. Yeah, I said it was. So I made a mistake. I thought it was Hillside College. Ken Hart, God bless him. God bless you, Ken. Says it's Hillsdale College. Thank you. I appreciate the correction, sir. Hillsdale College. I'll be honest. I wasn't paying attention to the paint in the end zone. I was paying attention to the player making the plays. But I tweeted out a little bit of his video. I've watched a lot. This guy pops on video. Long, 4.5, rumored to be in the 4.5 categories of 40. No, he's not ultra fast. He's not a speed demon. We've talked about him a little bit. We had someone say he looks slow. I don't know, man. I watched some footage of him beating people who took good angles at him and him beating them out in the wide open field. I like him a lot. I can't speak to how well he is as far as his hands, right? He may have drops that I don't see because you're not going to catch those on highlights. I don't know that you can watch their full games. I don't know that I'd want to go back and watch all their full games. But from what I could tell, it looks like he's got, good hands, wide catch radius. Seen someone on our Discord, had a couple people, Discord and Twitter, say that he's Treylon Burks. I don't know if I'd go that far yet. I mean, we got to see him play at this level. I'm not giving him the Burks comparison. You're talking about a cat from a small school up in Michigan to Treylon Burks who struck fear in the eyes of some of the best defensive minds in college football in here in the SEC. So it's a bit of that's a pretty big gap, but I like what I see out of Tesla. Now, sometimes, listen, people are right. It is good. It's easy to look good. I say easy. And I shouldn't say that, but it is easier to look good against that caliber of talent versus coming to this conference, coming to the Power Five. Completely agree. But there are cats who their game does transition pretty well. Matt Landers is a good example of that. Landers didn't come from a P5 school. Granted, his school was a little bit bigger and more known than where Tesla's coming from, but he transitioned pretty well here. I thought his game transferred pretty well here. Yeah, there's Kendal Briles rumors we're going to get to as well here in a minute, but assuming Kendal Briles is the guy, I don't see why Tesla couldn't just have a huge year here. I believe he has 2 years of eligibility. I could be wrong on that. I thought he was a sophomore. It could be. I think it's 2 years. We'll have to come back around to that, but give him an off season here. I would love to see him participate. Get involved as soon as he can, and be part of this offense. I think he could be potentially pretty. I think he could be a playmaker. Now, it also wouldn't shock me that someone like that goes to either here or anywhere else and kind of falls down the depth chart. But from what I have seen, I don't know. I mean, he looks pretty good, and I think he's right now he's listed at 6'4". I think I've seen some other places say he's closer to 6'5". He's a big, long receiver, long arms, looks to have pretty good size hands, makes plays on the ball, sacrifices his body to make plays with the ball in the air. Haven't seen the one thing I'd like to see more of, and I may have missed it in some of the other footage. I saw some jump balls. I would like to see more jump ball action, more 50-50 jump balls, just to get an idea of where he's at there. Typically, when that's something highlighted, I've noticed through the years of doing this and watching film, when they highlight something, that's their strengths. And when you don't see a lot of something, that might be something they need to work on, or they just don't have the footage for whatever reason. But with that size, he's rumored to have anywhere between a 38 to 40-inch vertical. He's an athlete. Don't know why he wasn't recruited higher in high school. We all know there's that. Scottie Pippen is not a fair comparison, but there's some kids who just get to college, they get that age, and they hit a huge growth spurt. They get bigger, stronger, more physical. They get in the weight room, they earn it, right? And then their body naturally just grows. Maybe that's what's going on here with Tesla, but I'm impressed from what I've seen. I'm impressed from what I've heard, and I'm impressed from what I've read. I think this would be a huge addition to this roster. We'll see what happens wherever he ends up going. I'm going to keep an eye on him. He's going to be one of those players in the portal who's kind of unknown. I'm going to keep an eye on him wherever he decides to go. He will be on campus. He will be in Fayetteville Thursday and Friday, so it's a big deal. Would be really cool to get him here tonight. I was really bummed that he couldn't make it tonight, as far as I know. Would have been huge to have him here tonight because I think you're going to have a pretty good environment at Bud Walton Arena. So he's going to miss out on that. Agreed, he will be a good threat. Just worry about getting him folded up in the SEC. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? You got to deal with the physicality of this league, and that's something that you certainly got to take into consideration. Put another 10 to 15 pounds on that frame. He'll be doing some solid work for us. Yeah, could you imagine him at like 225 with some muscle? They've done it before. They've packed muscle on these guys in a hurry. Prime offered Tesla. No, I didn't see that. He did? Oh, all right, that might be. I don't know. It's big that he's here, and it's big that he's not just here and then leaving on the same day. From what I understand, he's going to get here tomorrow. He's going to spend some time in Fayetteville both Thursday and Friday. Otis Kirk would be the best to ask about that. Maybe I'll try to bring Otis on sometime soon. I'd love to see an Armstrong, Tesla, Thompson in the 6'7" receiver core. Yeah, you always are a little bit concerned about what that might do to the roster that's in place, to the depth that's in place at wide receiver. And you guys know who I'm talking about, Mr. Isaiah Centennia, who is really one of the big stars in last year's class, number one player in the state of Arkansas. Him not being here, or him being here next year, I always thought not being here in the spring, which is where I was going to start with this, him not being here in the spring did push him back a little bit. But I told you guys I didn't have faith if he missed spring that he's going to see much of the field. I said it multiple times. I stress that like I do quality depth matters, like the OQDM. You want to be a big participant, be here in the spring. He's got track life. I'm not blaming him. I'm just simply saying for future prospects, for anyone that ever talks to someone that knows someone that's a recruit, tell them you better bet your ass you need to be there in spring if you want to come in and make an immediate impact. I don't know. Centennia may have been perfectly fine with redshirting, and that's fine. He got to play in the bowl game. Hope Rocket's okay. I don't know why that got held for review. Hope Rocket's okay, and I like Dubinion. Not trying to hate, fellas. I'm sick of watching this team fall shorter and shorter year after year. Yeah, but Camo, I mean, hitting the reset button isn't always the right call. You know, I mean, I don't know that hitting the reset button is the right answer here. You don't just flip the table, you know, and all the pieces go fall. Like that's a fan reaction, right? Oh, we just need to say to hell with it. Now, look, I think it could do you some good to hit the reset button in certain areas, right? You know, I kind of feel like they did that with the quarterback room, other than KJ, and KJ's going to be back. And now you've got Jacoby Criswell, and you've got a big time quarterback in Malachi Singleton. Lord, I hope it'd be fun. And listen, you know, going back to the Kendal Briles stuff here in this. Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about that next, Kendal, and some rumors. But you also, like, people hang on to the fact that, well, if you lose Kendal, that's going to decimate everything, right? You could lose KJ. You could lose, what does Jacoby Criswell decide to do? What does Malachi Singleton decide to do? Sometimes it's just out of your control. And, yeah, I'll agree if he does leave for this next job that we're about to talk about, yeah, to me, that is a neutral slide. Some people might argue Mississippi State's a better job right now. Some people might argue Mississippi State's not on the same level as Arkansas, and I would disagree with that right now. Mississippi State has had a little bit more recent success than Arkansas has, and they've had some big-time talent pushed into the league. I would argue that Mississippi State is, at the very least, I would argue they're at the same level right now, despite the fact that Mississippi State did beat Arkansas in 2022. But to me, it would be disappointing if he left for a neutral site, even if he took KJ with him. That's you can't let that happen. And I do agree with that. I don't know how you let that happen. But at the same time, I also never saw Kendal here beyond 3 years. So Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned down in a day. Fans are going to ruin the process with these stupid-ass takes. We are only 3 years in. You reset, like, after 7 years. Yeah. Even with the F-bomb that could potentially. The F-bombs can do damage, and that's why they hold them for review, but that's all right. Ty, are we not 1 or 2 clicks from reset? What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean? Are we not 1 or 2 clicks from reset? When you make a coaching change, right? You gave and I would argue that right now Sam's success is pretty similar to what Brett's success was. Now, Brett was given 5 years. They didn't hit the reset button immediately. Now, they hit the reset button the year after. What? They won 7, and then in 2017, right? I'm getting my years mixed up. But in 2017, then he really underperformed, and then they hit when you remove the head coach, that's when you reset. That's when you really hit the master reset button, right? And sometimes, yeah, you need to do it. I don't know what you mean by 1 or 2 clicks. I'm not sure. I'm kind of over that already. Have you talked about Isaac Tesla? Yeah, I have. We Cooper Kupp clone and visiting this weekend. Yeah, we talked about that just a little bit ago, Wilson. I have seen that comparison. Similar in size. I think Cooper Kupp did run like a 4.53 40, if I remember. Cooper's just a force. He's one of those guys, when he has the ball in his hands, you don't know what he's capable of. Great short and medium route runner. Just a guy that finds a way to get open. Maybe that is what Tesla is. I don't know. Reset, unplug, and plug it back in, says John. We clearly hit the reset button on strength conditioning. Yeah, I agree with that, Mark. They did. The in that room, I think he was talking about program wide, Mark. But yeah, they did in the strength conditioning room. We'll see how an offseason under their belts, under this new strength conditioning. We'll see how that goes. Isn't it supposed to be year 5 before coaches' recruiting rebuilding effects are fully felt? No, not in this day and age, especially with the portal, Steve. And I hear what you're saying. But no, it doesn't take 5 years. Not anymore. I think you could argue before it takes 2-3 seasons at certain schools. Unless you're in Alabama, it might take a year. Florida clearly takes more than a year. Thanks, Austin. Just missed it. I filled you in, Wilson. What are you talking about? Thanks, Austin. I filled you in. All he said was you missed it by 5 minutes. All right. How about Kendal? What is this Kendal going to Mississippi State? I don't know, man. Yeah, it's legit. They did offer. Everyone I know has confirmed that. Everyone that I've ever reached out to for anything has said it's legit. Mississippi State media insider people are saying that it's legit. That Mississippi State at the very least phoned Kendal or somehow got in contact with Kendal's people. You know how that works. Jimmy Sexton, I'm sure, is involved. I've not seen anyone say that there's no truth to it. And listen, everyone's reported on it. Everyone's talked about it already. It's kind of old news at this moment. Of course, I'm going to include it in the title. But from what I understand, it's legit. Someone had said that today was the deadline. I don't know about that. I've asked, and either some folks never got back with me. One person said he hadn't heard that. Another one said you never know. So I don't know what to make of that right now. But I will say it's not a blow. It's only a blow if Sam doesn't fill his shoes with someone at least on the same level. Or no, actually, I would say it is. Right? Because there is the potential you lose recruits. There's a potential that you lose someone into the portal. Singleton comes to mind. I don't know about Jacoby. I kind of think Jacoby wants to be home. I kind of feel like Criswell, I feel like would be more open to the idea of just someone else coming in and whatever, assuming it's an offense that he still feels comfortable in, right? KJ, I don't know. I don't, people have made the assumption that, KJ's just going to go. I will tell you that he and Sam Pittman have a very tight relationship. You could see it at practice. You could see it in the footage if you look. He's very tight. In fact, I saw him talk as much with Kendal as he did with Sam, in certain situations, right? If they were doing, they'd have the drill where they're just throwing the ball to the receivers. Receivers would run like slant routes, fade routes, whatever, and they would just kind of throw the ball around a little bit with no defense on the field. And you could see KJ would walk back and the next guy comes up, which was usually Malik Hornsby, and you'd see Sam walk over and have a good chat with him. They're tight. And I don't know that I'm sold. I'm not saying that anyone that says that is wrong. I'm not saying that at all because there's no doubt that KJ works in this offense. I don't know that you go out and you get someone who runs air raid or I formation football like Brett does at Illinois, and that KJ is going to ball out. I don't know. We don't know because we've not seen him run that offense. We've only seen him in this RPO style of offense, and he excelled in the veer and shoot offense. Yeah. Again, I can't. If there's F-bombs, I can't clear them anymore. YouTube is really coming after channels with F-bombs, so I can't. If you guys drop Celtics for life, I hear you. I agree with you on your Jimmy Sexton comment, but yeah, I can't clear that word. Can't clear that. It's not me. It's YouTube. Don't blame me. We're having, I think we're at the tip of the iceberg with yet another adpocalypse on YouTube. I can feel it. They're making some changes with the things that you can say, what you could put in the titles, and I guess apparently too there's certain words that will trigger some kind of algorithm. So I can't clear the F-bombs anymore. I'm excited for Mizzou versus Arkansas tonight. Yeah, we haven't even talked about that game. There's so much has happened. You feel like that's a back burner conversation right now. Before the transfer portal, yes, but now most kids have to follow their coaches. I mean, that could be the case. Again, I've not heard anyone say that will 100% happen. I don't know. That's all I'll say on that. I don't know. I'll tell you right now, if KB does go, we need to look at the Western Carolina OC. Dude is, I was looking at UTSA's offense. Was it UTSA? They finished like 8th in passing offense. I think they finished somewhere in the last I saw it was like top 12 in total offense, points scored per game. And that's right into your pipeline, right into Texas, right? They don't just recruit that area. They recruit the entire state of Texas. I don't know. There's all kinds of different. YouTube came out with a whole new set of – they came out with some new guidelines. It's probably going to have an impact here. I guess so. Ty's got to watch his mouth a little bit these days. But, again, Singleton said he trusts Pit Boss to make a great hire. Wait, what? He did? John, I'm going to need a link on that. What are you talking about? I'd love to see a link on that. Because they haven't, there's not been a change with the OC. Was that during his recruiting? If they were talking about if KB leaves, kind of a thing. Maybe that's what it was. I could see that happen. I could see someone in the media asking him that. Otis said it. Really? We're gonna have to bring Otis on. We're just gonna have to talk to him about it. That'll be good. Bringing him back on, an old Hogville reunion. If KB leaves, head to Tulane and/or TCU. Yeah, well, good luck. I think both of those places are in hot demand right now. Again, if Kendal does go, that is a head scratcher. At the moment, I would argue it's a lateral move. You know, I do think highly of Arkansas. Maybe that's the bias in me. I do think Arkansas. I do think the ceiling is pretty high here, but we've seen Mississippi State not all that long ago make it to number 1 in the country, even if it was for a short while. And we've seen them have some success under Mike Leach. And after all, to bring Mike Leach, and I know he wanted out of Washington State. I know he wanted back into the SEC to be a head coach here. But I still think like he's not going to go to a garbage program. I don't think Mississippi State's a garbage football program, but I still think Arkansas is a little bit higher than Mississippi State, despite Arkansas losing to Mississippi State. And you know, now with Mike Leach obviously out. God, I don't mean it like that. With him passing away, rest in peace. You know, they're under some new management over there now, and they've got to go out and make the right hire. I could totally see Mississippi State going after him and trying to throw some money at him. I just think Arkansas could offer more. I think at the end of the day, that's really it. Like, I think Arkansas could just offer more. I think they could outbid. Now, then the question becomes, is he deserving of the kind of extension or whatever it is that they throw at Kendal? Yeah, you can argue this whole thing was a ploy to get Kendal some more money. I don't know. A good agent would certainly do that. I think a good agent would certainly try to get his guy more money, and you get more money, right? You get a piece of that. That's what a good agent does. You can say what you want about Sexton. Yeah, it kind of screws over these programs. Some cases, it really screws over these programs. I get it. But it is what it is, and that's the world of athletics. That's not just college. It's obviously in the NFL, and that's it's been a part of college football for decades in terms of these coaching contracts and their salaries. So they've seen a massive boost in the last 40 years. It's been part of the game for a while. I think it's now just more out in the open. I think Sexton is a good agent. At the end of the day, he's a damn good agent, if you want my opinion. Maybe that is what's going on here, and I don't fault anybody. I don't think KB probably doesn't even know about it. Maybe they reached out to Jimmy or one of Jimmy's people, his circle of people, and that's how this all began, and KB's kind of waking up to it like, wait, what the hell? And then they make a phone call. Hey, by the way, did you know Mississippi State's reached out? Here are the terms. Here's what they're doing. I kind of see that as how this thing is unfolding. You know, you have some proxy in the middle who gets contacted first, and then it gets to Kendal Briles. And so, yeah, I don't blame Kendal at all for flirting around with it and looking at it and going, all right, yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I can bring KJ with me. That would be some straight-up bullshit. Yeah. But people would be mad at Sam. How could you let him go? How could you let him leave with his quarterback? And I honestly could not argue against those folks. For anyone who'd be upset about that, you can't let that happen. And Arkansas, who, you know, I mean, I know we've talked about the NIL stuff and not being able to drum up enough support in the NIL category, but my God, you can't let Mississippi State come in here and take your OC, and you damn sure can't let them come in and take your OC and your quarterback. Again, it goes back to, is he worth the kind of money that they would be willing to pay him based on his extension and the guidelines within that extension? I don't know. I've said all year, I thought, and I defended Kendal. I defended them in preseason. I defended the offense during the regular season. But they are still ineffective in the red zone. Overall scoring offense, not very good. Their third down offense, last I saw, was vastly improved. It's been a few weeks. I think I saw they were top 12 in the country. I want to say week 10, week 9, week 10, at that point, like overall in the season. I haven't looked since then where they finished. But they definitely made some improvements. I think he did absolutely develop KJ Jefferson. I think Kendal Briles played a huge role in that. Sure. But they did underperform. Let's not sit here and act like that offense was wildly consistent at anything. other than you just knew they were going to run the ball. They finished with a top 10 rushing offense. It was great. But it just kind of is what it is. Yo, Ty, what's up? Scott, how you doing, man? Get your filthy hands off KJ. He would need the Coast Guard to get out of the state in one piece. Looks like Arkansas should have kept Jeff Traylor. Well, I mean, you can't. Jeff, bloodline, it's not that simple. You know that. Come on, man. You're an OG around these parts. You know it's not that simple. The guy wanted to go be a head coach. He killed it with Barry Leonard Jr. as OC, then hits the reset button and killed it. Well, he didn't hit the reset button necessarily, but he did bring in a very effective offensive coordinator. Maybe Arkansas should poach from them. Looks like the magic is with Traylor. He's just a damn good coach. Yeah, Austin's right. Jeff left for a head coaching job. Yeah, you're not going to keep – listen, when someone wants to go be a head coach and they're an assistant or they're a positions coach or a coordinator, whatever, sometimes you just can't outbid that. It's more about what I'm going to do I want to be in that role. That's a huge step, even if it is UTSA. Anytime you have to run your quarterback as much as we have to, it's going to lead to, an inconsistent offense. Yeah. And I mean, the guy, KJ, ran the ball, 15 times a game? At one point in the season, it was like 16 times a game. Yeah, you're going to run into those issues. I would argue one of the things that drove me nuts about KJ is I don't think he's a smart runner. I don't think he's a smart runner. Any quarterback that's just willing to take on contact, you're not smart. You're not smart with with how you choose to run the ball. I'm sorry. It led to them. You can argue that his physical nature as a runner led to them losing some games they shouldn't have lost. Liberty, LSU, two great examples. He was not 100% against Liberty. I mean, he's not a smart runner. That's my biggest, you need to slide or you need to make an effort to get the hell out of bounds. Now, we saw him in the bowl game do a little bit more of that. And listen, I think it is him and his nature. He just wants to run the ball. He's a physical runner. That's who he is. But it's not smart. It's not. I think he needs to be a little bit more – needs to use his head a little more, man. I mean, we love that you're putting the team on your shoulders. Love that that's the kind of quarterback you are in terms of just wanting to be that guy. Put this team up on your shoulders and carry them across the goal line. But it costs you. You want to know what else gives you evidence that he's not a very smart runner? Now, maybe this wasn't his fault, but you go back to the Texas A&M call at the 3-yard line, 3.5-yard line, where you try to dive over the crowd. What are you doing? I don't think he's a very alert or aware runner sometimes. Not all the time, but quite a bit. I think you could argue half of his runs end in contact. Any agent, any NFL front office will tell you, I don't know that we want to draft a guy that's taken as much of a beating as someone like KJ Jefferson has over the years. I think it's part of the reason why he's not evaluated or thought of real highly because he's dealt with injuries. I love KJ. You guys know I don't know where I put him on my roster of great quarterbacks. He's up there. I love his mentality of just wanting to be the guy. I love that he has that grit. He may not show it to the fans or to the TV, but he wants to improve. He wants to be better. I think he does have a good head on his shoulders. I think he's got a great family surrounding him. I really hope that if Kendal does go to Mississippi State, I hope he sticks it out. But, yeah, I just don't like when he runs. I'm just like, here he goes. This is going to end in him taking contact. And sometimes he's not quick enough to get out of bounds, right? It's like he wants to take on the contact sometimes. Megan is a pretty good movie. Not going to lie, I saw a preview of her taking on a bully in the woods. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Well, you saw the movie. That was weird. That's a weird movie. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to do it. I need to get caught up on Yellowstone, though. I haven't watched a single episode of season 4. They're weird about it. Like some episodes, they're like, what are they on Paramount Plus or something? And then some episodes were on not Amazon Prime, but maybe Peacock. I don't know. They're everywhere, and get your shit together. My biggest issue with KJ this year was in between the A&M Bama stretch when he had all those turnovers. Sometimes you just got to, not all those, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. 1923 is good too. Is that out? Hold up. Is that out? Is 1923 out? I didn't know that. Yeah, I want to watch that, dude. My favorite show is still the other one, 1883. Is that it? That's still right now. Of those shows, that's my favorite. William Watkins is Paramount. Okay. KJ really is a younger Cam Newton. Well, I don't know about that. Like Cam, I'm sorry, is on another level. He was on another level in college. He was just a. I mean, I'm not saying KJ's not a winner, but the level that Cam played at, and now he was surrounded with better talent. I do agree with that. I think his nature and who he is very similar. Two different quarterbacks. Cam is. Cam is still a better quarterback. I would argue that Cam is. He's got to be up there on a list of great SEC quarterbacks. I mean, you don't get the accolades that he had without having a good play caller, without being in a good offense, without having the kind of talent surrounding him that he had, but also with just natural ability. Cam is something unbelievable. But KJ is certainly someone in his own realm of greatness for sure. That 90 show comes out. That looks horrible. And it looks like they're gonna. I hope they don't. Well, I'm not gonna get into it. I don't know. No, if it's not the original cast, and we'll never see that, by the way, because of the stuff going on with some of the guys involved in that show, we'll never get that reunion or that we'll never get that show back. But that's it. Like that 70s show is it. Like that's what a great sitcom that was. To me, KJ is Ark. Okay, well, fair enough, right? But yeah, there's only one Cam Newton. And that's the Cam Newton, right? I hear what you're saying, Steve, but yeah. You can argue he's our Cam. Coaching chain or a coaching addition really quick. I don't think people are excited enough about Marcus Woodson. I'm just saying, the more I look at this cat, the more I'm like, hold up. Yeah, Florida State fans excited that he's leaving. Listen, sometimes it's just called putting up a front. You don't want to admit. In Florida State, listen, I've known a few. They do look down on Arkansas. They could go 0-12 one year and Arkansas 12-0, and they would still look down on Arkansas. They are in that category, like OU fans, very elitist. They think because they won a couple of titles, like they are up here and everyone else is down here, right? They have a reputation. I think they're putting up a front. I don't buy into their horse shit. I think really, if you look at it, this dude, pretty good. Marcus Woodson is now your co-DC. Woodson has had 6 defensive backs picked over the last 3 NFL drafts, including a first-round draft pick in 2020. Prior to Florida State, Woodson helped Auburn win 17 games in 2 seasons, the 2018-2019 season, while working alongside Arkansas's new defensive coordinator, Travis Williams. The Tigers returned 3 interceptions in 2018 for touchdowns. FSU was 4th in the country in passing yards allowed at 165 yards per game in 2022. Now, you could listen, if the argument is he had nothing to do with that, you're batshit crazy. All right, you're not looking at it. From what I understand, that is his speciality is secondary, is scheming for the secondary, and that's what he does. That's his background. Everywhere he's been, he's coached in the secondary. This isn't a guy that I can tell has bounced around from linebacker coach to just whatever. Like he has coached DBs going all the way back to 2005. I think he played at Ole Miss, if I remember right. 05-08, he was at Millsaps as a DB coach. 2009 to 11, he was the Charleston Southern defensive backs coach, also recruiting coordinator. He was there until 2012, 2013. He becomes a defensive back / defensive passing game coordinator, also recruiting coordinator. Fresno State, he was defensive backs coach for a year or two. Memphis, he was defensive backs coach, and then Auburn for a couple of years, and then Florida State from 2020, 2021, and 2022, where he's the defensive backs / defensive passing game coordinator. Yes, he played a huge role. Also recruited really well. This last class, he had a 4-star safety, Conrad Husse, if I'm saying that right. Had some other players that weren't as highly recruited in terms of stars, but had some pretty good offers. 3-star safety, Kitten Kirkland. 3-star corner, Jabril Rawls. And then he also dipped into the portal and grabbed a corner from Virginia, Fantrell, who's got the most badass name, Fentrell Cypress. I think Woodson played a role in luring him to Florida State. Fentrell Cypress. Go Google that name. I promise you there's going to be a Matrix link in there somewhere. That is the most Matrix name I've ever heard in my life. Whoa. Cypress. There was a Cypress, right? Was it a Cypher? Cypher! You guys remember The Matrix? Great movie. One of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. Yeah, his background is coaching second. Guys, if you're not big on this hire, I don't get it. Now, I'm not saying he's got his work cut out for him here. No doubt. And it sounds like they're making some changes. We don't have any word as far as any other defensive staff changes just yet, but this guy's going to play a key role again. Code DC, he's going to I guarantee he's going to be behind the secondary and helping them revamp this whole thing. His all-time recruits, he has recruited on the offensive side of the ball. He brought in 5-star in 2021, Cameron Davis. He's a running back, 5'10", 200 pounds. He recruited, again, Sam McCall, who's a 4-star. Charles Moore, who was a defensive end, who's 6'5", 6'4", 268, 4-star. Jordan Pride, Zaire Thomas. These are all 4-star prospects. So he's definitely, in his short time there, he's brought in a 5-star and several 4-stars. You know, you think about, too, the pipeline to South Georgia and North Florida. He's going to help you in that pipeline. I'm big on this hire. I really think between him and the new tight end coach, this just feels like they're upgrading. And I certainly hope that some guys stick around. I hope they keep the defensive line coach. I hope they get things figured out with a linebacker coach, although I think new defensive coordinator is going to coach the linebackers. That'd be my guess, unless they decide to bring somebody on. But I am real big on this. I like Kenny Guyton on the offensive side of the ball. I like Kenny Guyton. We'll see what he's going to get put to the test, man. And if he's able to bring in some of those transfers we talked about, that's going to be big. But I am very big on Marcus Woodson. The new tight end coach, Morgan Turner. This guy has a track record. I think he's played a role in bringing Luke Hawes, keeping Luke Hawes here. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Ham, who's going to go to KU. You still got Shamar Easter out there. We're waiting to see what happens in February with him. I'm liking this. I don't know how you guys feel. I hope they can hang on to Deke Adams. I hope in some fashion they keep Dominic Bowman, the cornerbacks coach. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about you guys. I feel like the staff made upgrades. Travis Williams, I'm still in wait-and-see mode. I want to see what Travis can do. He's going to be on, look, this is going to be his first offseason as the DC at an SEC program. We're going to see how he handles it. We're going to take a look at what they look like come spring, right? What kind of, are they going to run more of a 4-man front? We'll see if they stick with what they do in the spring and carry that over into fall camp. But I'm excited, dude. This offseason's honestly, so far, been a plus. Now, when you talk about recruiting, this recruiting class still hanging around the top 25. We'll see what they do, and we'll see how well they do as far as closing out how they handle the portal. If we win less than 7 games next year, we need to move on from Pittman. Disagree. I disagree. Sorry, Ty. I'm on a delay here. Oh, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time. You're just now responding. You're definitely on a delay, my man, but you're good, Wilson. I appreciate you being here. My friend, Tim. Arizona Tim. Look at that helmet back there. I've got the Tuss Talk logo. I got it right there. How about that? That's your helmet back there, buddy. It's looking good. KJ's weights are here. That's good. I see what you did there. Don't forget tonight, Tuss Talk is back, baby, with the post-game show. We're back. Yes. Oh, we're going to kick some ass tonight. Oh, I mean the show. I hope Arkansas does. I'll be honest with you. I've not done much research with Mizzou tonight. It's going to be a good game. I'll tell you that much. Did we talk about all the visitors? Yeah, we talked about the visitors. We did. Really, really big week. Really unfortunate they couldn't get Tesla here tonight. I'm sure that was kind of a late notice sort of thing. Again, I'm big on. I like all these potential transfers. If they get all these cats, I do not know the official number right now, but they can add. It looks like they're going to be able to add quite a few, assuming everyone that's in the portal right now from Arkansas, if they actually commit somewhere. Discord XP did reset, by the way. For anyone that's there, we're going to do double XP. I've decided we're going to do double XP starting here as soon as I'm done going live in Discord. So get ready to rack up some XP immediately following this live. Yeah, I don't agree that 7 wins and then you fire Pitt. That's wild. No, because you went to a bowl game. If you're talking about 7 games during the regular season, you're damn sure not going to walk away from Sam. I just don't see that. If you finish 6-6, I still don't think he goes anywhere. But if you finish maybe below that, I don't know. That might be a different conversation. Watkins says double XP. Yes, that's right. We're going to do double XP all tonight. So if you're not in our Discord, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go set that up. So you guys make sure you're there. Off topic, Ty, but did you see the LSU thing? Any thoughts? Oh, you're talking about the sex party in Atlanta? Is that what you're talking about? I did see it. Don't know if any of it's legit, though. I don't typically give an opinion on something that I don't know if it's real or not. Some people think that it's all message board bullshit. Could be. I don't know. If you aren't in Discord, take from a guy who hates social media. It's a good time. That Discord is lit. Oh, Steven with the /10,000 XP comment. I love it. Ty just trying to make sure me and Haas have a hard time. Yeah, Thursday. So tomorrow, mods are back in the XP race, by the way, in our Discord. Here, we're sitting here talking about it. Let's get the link. Let's get the link going, huh? Let's do that. Send out the invite. Some of you are like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You want to get in on it, it's a free download. Yes, it's a download on your phone. You can have it on the old laptop, PC, whatever. Full steam ahead. That's right. Tonight is big. Tonight's a big game. Again, I apologize. I was going to focus on LSU a little bit, Mizzou a little bit today, and wasn't able to do it. I ran into some issues with my computer. I was going to talk to Eagle, Mike Lasezzo, about my computer started making this weird wheezing sound. I think it was the fan, maybe. I don't know. I had to pull that thing apart, get the dust out of there. That took me like a good hour and a half to get all that figured out. So I didn't have a lot of time to deal with this Mizzou game tonight. But at the moment, we will touch on it for just a second. They are 12-1, 1-0 in conference play. Arkansas 11-2, 0-1 in conference play. According to the BPI, Arkansas's favorite at almost 86%. Arkansas the favorite by 8 points. That's pretty tight. I'd argue that's like a 6-point spread in football, I guess. Is that a fair comparison? I don't think so. Whatever. It's tight. It's a tight window there. Arkansas right now, they got to find their step. They got to recover. How well do they handle that loss against LSU? Do they grow from it? Do they let it hang around and linger? There's been quite a bit of time since you've played a game, right? We've had some time pass. Mizzou, who beat Kentucky 89-75. Now that was at home. Kentucky appears not. I mean, they're 8-4. I really don't know what to make of these guys. I think they put a lot of stock in Oscar Tshiebwe, and I don't know that it's really. Yeah, he's a great player, but other than that, I don't know what they're doing. Are they hitting an early part of the year? Listen, again, don't take anything serious. Don't overreact and panic. I know a lot of you will. If we lose tonight at home to Mizzou, you're going to overreact and panic. I would wait until February if things aren't going, if they're not corrected, if they haven't made the proper adjustments. The rotation is still kind of wild, and I don't see that happening because Muss is really good at tightening the rotation. By mid-January, we're going to see some changes, I'm sure, especially with guys, without Nick Smith, without Brazil as well. They're already kind of trying to figure things out. They're young. Again, they've got these 2 injuries. They weren't planning on it. That's why you have that quality depth, but a lot of things to figure out. And I think, like I said, they're going to hit a speed bump, and maybe that speed bump, when I say speed bump, I don't mean just a loss or 2. They really could lose. Someone in the last live chat said Arkansas was going to be facing quite the losing streak here, and they could be. I mean, I think that's on the table. Now, I'm going to take Arkansas tonight because they're at home. I think the fans are going to be there. I don't like that 7:30 tip-off on a weeknight. I do think fans still show up. It's an SEC opener inside Bud Walton. Then you got to go back on the road and play Auburn. Then you're back at home against a top 10 Bama, and then you're on the road against Vandy, and then you're back on the road against Mizzou. You got a tough stretch of games here. Even Vandy. Say what you want about Vanderbilt. They're 8-6, but they're 1-0 in conference play. I don't know that that's a given. Until they get some things corrected, right? Until they figure out the flow and the formula and get the right rotation down, they're going to have some losses, and it wouldn't shock me. I'm not forecasting losses here, but it wouldn't shock me if they go on a little bit of a losing streak. When you consider all the newness here, outside of Devo and one other piece, especially a guy who I hope has a really big impact on the year, but a lot of new changes, a lot of different personnel in terms of who's on the bench and who's out on the floor. So, yeah, they're going to hit, and they're young. Again, 18, 19-year-old kids. They're young. Let them figure this out before you go on Twitter and start shit-talking them and including them in your tweets or responding to them on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. Just hold on. Hold on. I would argue don't ever do that, but hold off before you overreact. They're going to probably lose some games. Hell, they could win. Hell, they could win out. I don't know. I think they have an immense amount of talent. We don't know what's going on with Nick. He's still out indefinitely, according to Eric Musselman. Just hang on. Let's let this thing fill itself out. And then come mid to late February, then we'll kind of reassess where they're at. Bobby going to UNLV. Why in the hell? Yeah, you're a little late, Charles, but yeah, it's happening. Looks like it's happening. Going to A&M, that is. Why in the hell is KB going? Well, we don't know. I don't know why are you yelling? All caps. No need to yell, Charles Kaiser. Yeah, we don't know. Nothing's certain as far as Kendal going to Mississippi State. It is certainly something that sounds like it's could be at least on the table. Ty, I think we lose KB and KJ to Mississippi State. Need to go after elite quarterback. Yeah, if that is the case, they're going to have to go back after. I don't know that Jacoby. Do you trust Jacoby Criswell? I guess it depends on who you bring in as your OC. If that does happen, we'll have to address the situation. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it, if it happens at all. Again, I do think there's some legitimacy to it. Everyone I talked to has said, yeah, there's something going on. Certainly sounds like at least Mississippi State is interested at the very least. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, remember, my God, 39 likes. What are you doing? Hit the like button, share the content, subscribe if you're new. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, Apex Tattoo Studio, and the Odd Soul located on Emma Street. Great pizzeria. Great beer. Apex, get your ink done. Get the ink done. And, of course, if you need garage door repairs, go hit up Garage Door Company. Their websites are all located down below, located with the links down below. So I will see you guys tonight at the post-game show. I'm really excited. It's the first one back. Yes, I'm so excited. We're going to kick some ass tonight. The show is going to kick some ass tonight. Really looking forward to it. We'll probably be a call-in format. We'll probably be doing it on StreamYard. So I'll need the likes and the shares and all that stuff tonight if you guys want to help your boy out. I'll see you tonight after the game. Woo Pig Suey. Go Hogs.